All right. How does supply chain challenges and our neuroscience go together? Well, I was recently reading an article about supply chain challenges within healthcare systems, and I was thinking, I think our neurobiology is similar because let me give you a story. My daughter got in an accident during COVID, and thank goodness she wasn't hurt, but her car was totaled. Thank goodness she wasn't hurt. I'll say it twice. Um, but her car was totaled, so we needed to find a used car for her. She needed to find it. We were helping her out, and um, there's no cars. There was no cars during COVID. Why? Because it was this supply chain thing, right? So those little chips that go in cars that I really never have fully appreciated, everything that they do. But when they're on high demand, but low inventory, they can't finish the cars, or the cars are sitting there totally ready, but they don't have these chips. So I think it's similar to our neurobiology. Like sometimes we just don't appreciate all that brain is doing for us in between our ears until it's not working, or something's up, or we're exhausted, or we're looking as team leads, we're looking for some new resources or some new ideas how to really, invigorate or engage our teams. We've had major workforce challenges. And so we're looking for things, but sometimes we just didn't appreciate all that the neurobiology and the neurobiology of teams, all that it really means, and all the things that we can do day to day to really build that need for belonging and trust in our team, so their neurobiologic needs are met, so people don't want to leave. If we don't feel like we belong or that we're trusted in the area where we are, we typically don't stay. We want to leave. We have a strong impulse to get out of there, so that's our neurobiologic need, that we need to be able to trust people around us. We need to know why we're there. So there was an interesting study looking at value-based leadership. It was by a Dr. Antone. It was published in the Journal of Healthcare Leadership, looking at the value-based approach that team leads can have. And so when we exactly know what's really important to us, someone described to me values like your line in the sand, something that's really important to you, that this is so important to you, you're not willing to cross it, right? So it's really important to know your values. If you want to know some ways to check that out, let me know. I have some worksheets from Brain Fresh that I can share with you. And we do that in our program as well. But knowing what's really important to you, knowing your basic values, it'll just make you want to proceed with the team, challenge, or, you'll see if your values kind of intersect with your institutional values where you work. And if they don't, you might feel just a little bit of hesitation or some friction until you clarify exactly what are your values and what are your employer's values and where they intersect. So this study looked at value-based leadership and how important it was when you're developing leaders. So as a team lead, we're always, giving new skills, hopefully to our team members, to hopefully see them one day, taking over our job so that they can become the team leads. And we're building their skill set, right? So that they can realize, all the skills that they have, build them. We can scaffold our skills so that we can share skills with each other on a team, because there's big problems to solve out there in all industries. I mean, I know healthcare the best as a neuroimmunologist, but most industries have some really big challenges to solve. So we need to keep aligning with our own personal values and then our institutional or your employer values, because when leaders knew their value-based approach to their plans, their challenges, it was easier to develop those leaders. So the study showed that very clearly. Again, it was published in the Journal of Healthcare Leadership. The first author was Dr. Antone, Antone. If you want the link, you could just reach out to me and let me know. thebrainfresh@gmail.com, and I'm glad to share it with you. So what can we take away from this? Supply chain showed us that certain things are really important. We don't think about them all the time when everything works well, but we have to put a system in place when we don't have access to everything that we need, right? Our neurobiologic needs, our brain up there when we're leaders, we need to meet a few things before our teams can even become creative, right? So we need to make sure our teams feel like they belong, that they can trust each other, and then they can start solving those problems and bringing really great ideas. They also need to be able to align with their own neurobiology. So things that are important to them, that line in the sand, their value. So when we speak to the neurobiologic needs, like your value, our employer's values, it makes sense to people, and people know, oh, I do belong here because we have that shared value, right? So we want to make sure that we encourage a value-based approach to solving the big problems and developing our younger leaders so they understand, yeah, your values matter, and they are going to determine what you say yes or no to, right? So that we can enhance that trust. So then again, we get them to that big state of creativity and solving the problems. Okay. So what I'd love you to do is click on the link that's included in this video so that you can get my 14 step brain literate program for team leads. It's free. Just click on the link. Yes, I'll grab your email and I'll share some resources if that's okay with you. If not, just unsubscribe. But feel free to grab that link of 14 free brain literate strategies for a team lead to use today, because it's important to know how to get your brain ready for a busy day, how to align with your values, and then how to design for impact, because we all want to make sure that what we do each day at work is really important. And if we understand how to, design with our neurobiology rather than fighting against it, we can get there. Okay. So feel free to reach out, Dr. Mary Rensel, the Brain Fresh at gmail.com, or click on the link associated with this video and get the 14 step brain literate challenge. Okay. You got this.